is the driest form of education when you have to sit in those classes about the chemicals and Russ is 100% right. If you can't cover up your thumb, you're too
back
close. But there are people that love it, right? You understand where I'm going with this? They love to talk about mitigation of milfoil and drainage, and it's good things, right?
Oh,
It
this-
really is.
But no, that's
That's
not
like
the,
association
that's
meeting.
like association meeting.
Right.
This is a breakfast
That they just.
that they're
You
just
went
gonna
to.
raise money for the lake.
to raise money
It's not
to
the meeting,
maintain
no,
it.
I've been to those meetings,
Yeah, I got roped
it's
into
like,
that last year.
it's like fingernails on a chalkboard.
We walked around and looked where water ran to see what was running. That was thrown.
And it's all useful things, it's good, right? But again, just like hazmat, and I was a hazmat tech and an operator. I took a hazmat class in Emmitsburg, Maryland at the National Fire Academy that I got signed up for, and yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna call
No,
the
this is
meeting,
just a breakfast, so it should be fun.
calling the meeting to order at 6:12. And, we have Andy Highland here from, Port City Architects. I'm Rosemary Wissenbeck, Chris Siemens.
Okay.
And I know Lisa has filled you in on,
Have,
what we're trying to accomplish.
A bit, yeah,
And, I know you've seen the plans as we have them
yeah,
right now, and,
you wanted to come look at the site,
okay.
and chat with you guys a little about,
Did he do that? Did you go outside?
not yet, I just ran, zoomed straight over, but I kinda put together a quick, just, PowerPoint, we all just, pass out, and, I'm not sure exactly,
Thank you.
I'm just kinda here to give you guys some
Thanks.
information on who, like, what we do
Thank
and
you.
what the process is.
Thanks.
There you go. I think I did, and I think I might have
Thank you.
actually.
you might,
I might have nailed it here, look at this,
we
wait
can,
on.
we can share.
Okay, no, you know what, you get your own.
Ooh, look at that.
That looks like
That was a good guess,
That was awesome.
on the whole thing. So, you know, so I just I threw this together, this was like a PowerPoint from a fire station, police station we've just done, but my firm's Port City Architecture. We're in Portland, Maine, and this is kind of all we do. So we've been working, we work all this whole area to Berwick and North Berwick, just across the border, and Sanford, and so that's anyway. This is just kind of a leave behind for you guys, but there's a lot of stuff. I just kind of thought you might want to take a look at it later. So as so I kind of put in here kind of what are the things that you want to look for in a modern fire station. You know, what's how big should the apparatus base be? The equipment's getting bigger and bigger all the time. What kind of what type of decontamination do you have? And a lot of departments, I actually probably should start by asking more questions. So I heard about the police here, but about the fire. Most towns are kind of moving away from volunteer, not by choice, but just because there's less volunteers. So we're seeing a lot of towns that are really kind of now all of a sudden now in living quarters. You need to have some bunk rooms. You need to have you need to have a day room, that type of thing, especially for EMS, and to have people around the clock. And so that changes a lot of things for towns. It's obviously getting really expensive to build anything right now, but I think we do from small to really large. So from 7,500 square feet to 63,000 square feet, we're doing a public safety in Auburn. And so with that, I just kind of, like I said, here's some kind of design concepts, or the ideas of what you're going to need, fitness. You're going to need some training areas for both police and fire in the design of your new station. And then And then I went into just kind of what the approach is. And really, you know, what any town kind of wants to do, just in simple terms, is you don't wanna spend a whole bunch of money to find out exactly how much this project's gonna cost. And before however you wanna do, you know, bond money or whatever you're gonna do, before you raise the money, you wanna spend as little as possible to find out how much this building's gonna be, but to get a really accurate price of how much it's gonna be. So we always say, you know, it's best to do this in two parts. That, you know, we do a schematic, kind of a lay out the floor plan for people. Maybe 3D model, site plan, and you gotta go on the site, you gotta, you know, are we on, you know, public utilities, are we on septic and, you know, well, you know, how are we gonna fill the trucks, do they draft from somewhere? Do they need, you know, that something on the site? And enough information, you know, what's kind of the zoning, you know, will it fit? And enough information to really kind of get you into that good, kind of feeling good number that we've uncovered enough, lifted up enough rocks to make sure that when we tell you this is how much it's gonna be, that, you know, that what we've shown is feasible plan. And then with that, just say, you know, I'm looking at yours, I didn't quite do it, it looks like around 8,500 maybe square feet, I don't know, 9,000. Was that?
60 by 140.
Right.
6, okay, so what's, I don't know, can you do that in your head, 60 by 140? Yeah, 8,400,
yeah.
so, you know, looking at 8,500, you know, as, that's kind of what we would come up with then in the price wise, in the whole thing. So, and I'm kind of jumping around a bit, but to get there with that smaller, you know, kind of outlay of money, I have it in the back here, kind of what we do is, you know, first do a quick program. And before we put a pen to paper, you know, just kind of sit down with the two chiefs, or maybe there's just one chief now. But, you know, kind of what are your spaces? And, you know, we'll help too with kind of decon and, you know, things that you might not have, and we know how big they should be, that type of thing. But so we would come up first of all with the space program, and then, you know, say that came up to 8,500, that's when we kind of do our first budget check. So, I'll get kind of right to the good part in the back. We're doing a lot of them, so I can tell you, like, just a stick frame, slab on grade building with maybe some steel in the bays, or it's gonna be probably $575 total cost, because it's not just hard cost, it's like $450 per square foot, $475 a square foot, about $100 for soft cost, because you gotta make sure you have furniture, fixtures, you know, communication systems, you gotta get permitting, that, you know, survey.
What you looking for, Mike? It's over your ear.
Okay.
Just seeing if you.
So, and then the other option is pre-engineered construction, which is quite a bit less, so, from $575, this is on the last page there, I'm gonna throw it in. For $575, we're talking in pre-engineered, more like, you know, $325 a square foot. So at 8,500, you're somewhere between, you know, 2.8 million to 4.9 million, something like that, for total project cost, not the building, but the whole total project cost of something on a building like that. So,
Can you say that rough estimate? We're not gonna hold your feet to the fire, can you just say that one more time?
yeah, like, 2.7, I think 5 would be kind of a pre-engineered, maybe at 85, you can just figure it out, 325 a square foot. And 575, so probably closer to 5 million, 4.9, let's say, for a conventionally framed kind of building on that whole piece. I guess, you know, so I'm sorry I'm jumping around tonight, but I I mean, what we try to do is, you know, in any municipality, is the money. Is the big thing, and then, like I said, it's just crazy expensive right now. So, you know, you need to know upfront, you don't wanna spend a lot of money on us or do it, or start to go down this road and then find out later. You wanna kind of find out now, what are we looking at? How are we gonna get that kind of money? Is that gonna pass, you know, a bond vote in the town? In Maine, we've gotten, you know, especially right now, Susan Collins is giving out money like it's candy before the election, so there's congressional set-asides. Right now, there is a congressional set-aside, and I think, I'm sure every state, your senator or folks can, you know, apply for them. And that hadn't been happening for quite a bit, you know, that's just the first time, I think probably, like, it started like 3 years ago. But some of our clients are getting, you know, up to 4 million. We're doing Freiburg right now, so they just got, in Maine, they just got 4 million, or actually, yeah, 4. And they bonded 6.5, so
Wow.
they're doing a whole new municipal center, you know, on the whole thing. But
Do you help us with that, if you,
yeah, I mean, well, so, you know, I mean, we're on the fringe, I mean, you know, I've done some projects, but not a public safety project in New Hampshire, where, you know, that's a little bit different, but the process is the same, you know, so we could, and I know, and the program's the same. So about, you know, kind of what the things are that you need, but your congressional delegates are gonna wanna see that looks like it's a done deal, you know, or that you have support in the town. So before they, you know, kind of sign up to do a set aside, you know, they don't wanna have egg on their face and, you
right,
know, have people, you know, say we didn't want it and, you know,
Right.
so that's,
so when you say the 4 million for Freiburg, is that free money for them?
yeah, the only thing it comes with is, you know, the federal regulations, so there's BABA, Buy American, you know, Act, and that's kinda, we've done quite a few of those projects. They're getting, and it depends on if USDA or some other, or HUD's doing it. So it just comes with the paperwork, so maybe there's, you know, if that 4 million, it's probably gonna be, you know, 15% of that's just kinda blown on the contractor and everybody else, you know, just filling out forms and so on. But the suppliers are starting to catch up to that, and we're now getting some rooftop units that, you know, things that you just couldn't get in the States that are actually, we're getting some packaged American rooftop units. We are getting some, you know, manufacturing that's, you know, on things that we never did manufacture before, so.
That is one of the absolute downsides to Bather is when you're doing buildings like this, or whatever, whether it's a nursing home or
Yeah.
whatever, you can't, they're on your manufacturer's here.
I know, switchgear, like electrical stuff has been a real problem. You can get, you know, a waiver. They were a lot easier last year, they're starting to crack down a little bit on them this year, but I mean, if you can't get it, you can't get it, they're just being slow about it, but, so it's certainly worth it. The other downside, to that though, so I've got like 3 projects that just got moved ahead. And then, so for, you know, 1.5 million, the Freiburg's 4.5 million or 4 million. But Congress hasn't voted on the budget yet. So we gotta wait till the fall before, so you can't really plan on that money, and when we know how much they've been, you know, I think every budget's been, you know, a fight and, you know, delayed. So Thomaston that we did they finally got it last year, when they reopened the government, Collinswick wrote it in, you know, to do it. So it's kind of makes some of the planning kind of difficult as well. But, and then Freiburg, we've split it into three parts. So we're doing a $6.5 million piece, cause they wanna start, which is good too, cause it doesn't get any cheaper every year, so. So they're doing a whole municipal center, so that's kinda the municipal center and the police station piece of it. Then there's a $2 million piece that kinda picks up the fire offices, and then the $4 million, so it's like 12.5. If I missed something, maybe 6.5 is the first one. And I gotta set aside that 2 million to be a matching funds for the 4 million that they're gonna get, so it's gonna be a 50%, so. It can make it kind of logistically tough too, but like I said, it's certainly, worth it. I mean, a small town or like your town, I don't know how in other towns that I do, that have 1,500 people and you're gonna spend $6 million on on a building, like, that's not really doable.
No.
The other thing that we're starting to see and is towns, like local towns by themselves getting together with their neighbors and creating their own kind of fire district. And so it's not like something, mandated down from the state, but you go like, hey, we can't afford it, you can't afford it. And the ones I've seen have, representative from each town that's kind of on the board. The fire district, everybody pays, an equal share. And then you get a news station that's maybe split between 3 towns or something instead of one. So that's there's some success stories, that way as well. But you need to, you gotta have, you gotta meet code nowadays to do these stations. Firefighter safety, first responder safety is really important. This decon, I put them all in there. I didn't feel like, we needed to go over everything, but you're welcome to kind of like thumb through it later. That when you come off a fire, most houses, houses used to be made of wood. And now they're like, plastic, and siding's plastic, and Decker Trex, so all that stuff when it burns, it can be fairly toxic. So they wanna come and, they usually kind of hose down on site, but then, you need to come down. We do walk-in showers that you can kind of just get any residual off. You got an extractor and a dryer to kind of clean the rest of your gear. And then when you walk into the living areas, you always put it under positive pressure, so when you open the door to the bay, the air always flows, the clean air flows out to the dirty. And so that's for, first responder safety in the building. And and the other things driving it up are sprinklers, and especially if you're on a well. That's, you gotta put in a cistern and a sprinkled building, but that's NFPA kind of guidelines now. And so anyway, I know, sorry I jumped all around there, but I'm happy to, I can answer questions like crazy.
So I'm, cause of my job, and I'm
Okay.
an accountant, the money part of it, how do we go about, would we reach out to, cause I'd be interested in helping getting the money here, like, I'm great at filling out a form, so.
Yeah, it's usually each congressional member might have, they all each have their own form.
So we would get in touch with the congressional
Yeah,
person.
you get a hold of their
that-
staffers.
Yeah.
And you tell them what you wanna do, and that's what usually, like I said, so there's, usually we'll go in and we'll do we'll kind of program it, say, here you need 8,500, this is kind of what we're shooting for, then we'll work it into the floor plan, a good floor plan that works for you, that you can maybe expand in the future. And figure out, how you wanna do it, or you wanna do the pre-engineered designs, do you wanna do a more stick frame kind of building, more traditional? And then we'll come up with the budget, And with those pieces, the kind of you know, that we would do, this is how we traditionally are now do it. Is give you, you know, a little 3D rendering, floor plans, the site plan, rendered site plan, this house gonna fit on the site. And you take that to your congressional staffers.
What does that typically cost for you to do that?
Probably like 30,000-40,000, something like that. We'll have a civil engineer out, and again, I just wanna get enough, you know, that we need to know, you know, uncover those costs. We don't want costs coming back in, cause you know, on that whole thing. And so that's, you know, more in the stick frame. We could, the other way, the other option is kind of similar, but you could, well, if you go for federal money, you're gonna have to kind of put it, you know, you're gonna have to, not put it out to bid, but at least have it competitive. If you did it yourself, you could go right to a Patco or a Jewett, you know, construction. We work with both of them, and you know, and they could, you know, we could help them design it, and they can give you the whole package, you know, as well. So that would be the one that, you know, is probably gonna be, you know.
So we would need the package before we got in touch with the congressman.
Yeah, well, we can't, but yeah, I think you're gonna have, maybe you could interview, you don't have to, it's not like low bid price necessarily, but
You
they
have to
want
get
it competitive, so
Yeah.
you'd have to, for some reason, so what we normally recommend is, we do a lot of, it's called construction management at risk. So we'll do that initial part, the 30-40 grand piece. And then when you guys decide, yeah, we've got a way forward with the money, or you get, you know, you're gonna get some congressional money, you get approved at least at that point, then we usually go out, for you guys to look for, it's a contractor, but they do pre-construction too, so we call it construction management at risk, so. When we get to the second phase in here, which would be like the finishing the construction documents and, you know, and going to planning board and all of that kind of, and the construction administration. We bring the contractor on early while we're working the documents to just make sure we stay on budget. Cause, you know, once you have the money, like, that's it, you know, you can't go over. So construction management, or in this case, maybe, you know, design build, you could probably talk to, you know, or interview 3 design builders as well. And I bring that up only because I think that's really gonna be the least expensive way to do it, is do you know, if cost, unless, you know, I'm reading something wrong, unless cost. You know, and it's most every town.
Cost.
Is, you know, that you know, you could interview them kind of on, have you done a fire station, police station, public safety building before? You know, what kind of, you know, fees are you looking at, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, and go move that way, but it keeps, that design build way, you know, keeps kind of those guys do a lot of them just kind of on their own, so it kind of cuts down our fees and our involvement in it as well, so.
Okay.
Again, I feel like I'm throwing out too much stuff at the same time, but that's, yeah, so, you know, I'll just kind of keep it with our traditional approach. We come in, do a package for you guys. And it's money well spent in that, you know, we can really kind of get you a really compact, effective
Right.
plan that doesn't waste space. And you know, and we know what we're looking for on the site, and can really kind of come in and help you, you know, get the best, most, you know, cost effective building that you can, and then, you know, work with. So either way, we're working with somebody a contractor, once you get approved for, if you are going out for a grant, which, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't, I mean, right now, you know, so, then, you know, once you get approved for the funding, you know, then we start the the finished construction documents. Which if it's stick framed, we're drawing a lot of, it was pre-engineered, like I said, then, you know,
Right.
Jewett or Patco or whoever, they do a lot of that in-house, so.
right,
You know, that's why I say you kind of save some money on us that way, and they take a lot more responsibility, so. And that's part of, you know, why they're, you know, kind of, you know, less expensive
Right.
as well. So, and so, you know, again, throwing out the
Mike, any-
options, but.
any comments, Mike?
No, I'm just listening. I'm
Okay,
good.
okay,
Yeah, no,
Looks like you had a question.
But that's, but I can tell you, you know, that, like, just as a good starting number, these are pretty good. The 575 and the 325 all in, and that's, you know, furnished, everything, you know, appliances, you know, everything in the building. And right now, you know, it's escalating, you know, like 3 or 4% a year. I
right,
mean, it's hard to, that's really another thing, it's hard to put your finger on. You know, when I was younger, everything was the same price, you know, go up like 0.5% a year, and now it's like all over the place. So, it makes it difficult,
it's not going down, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, you know, I don't know, maybe.
Maybe, well, that would be incredible, I doubt very much if that's gonna happen.
You know.
Chris, you have any, questions,
Nope, I
any
do not.
thoughts?
Taking it all in.
So, yeah, so I mean, these are kind of the spaces that you'd be looking at, then like I said,
Okay.
when we get into approach, you know, I said it's 2 parts here.
Uh-huh,
Part 1 is, you know, kind of a feasibility study with
Right.
a turnkey budget. And then you wanna pause and figure out how you're gonna, now you know it's 3.5 million or whatever. So you wanna pause and, you know, figure out how are we gonna approach that, are we gonna bond a certain amount, go after congressional money?
right,
And then, once that's kind of locked in, then you go to the part 2, which is the construction documents and, you know, and hire the contractor. And like I said, we like to hire them early, that, you know, that they can, you know, while we're designing, they do budget checks and just say, you know, if this product went up, you know, let's do something else, and, you know, so we stay on track that way. So, and, but yeah, and this is kind of a step-by-step, so the phase 1 are those things that I would tell you, you know, are like the, you know, to trying to get you enough to be able to know exactly how much it is, and you know, and take that to your congressional representative, and then phase 2 is finishing it up, construction. So, but, you know, we're happy to help you all, as, you know, be a resource, we work with, that's how we're here, just, you know, Greg Patterson and Patco, help them out a lot. And you can make a pre-engineered building look, you know, pretty nice. And,
Right.
and then if you know, kind of get some base on it, that, you know, that it doesn't get dinged up, you can make it last longer, look better for a longer time, you know, as well. If you don't run the metal right down to the ground.
right,
So,
okay. Do you wanna just take a quick look at what we're looking at
yeah, yeah,
now?
I'd love to, or if, yeah, that would be great to, kind of take a.
Go for a
peek at
field
it.
trip.
Right,
Yeah, alright. Like I said, sorry, I feel like I just really rambled tonight, but.
what's this? JJ? While we're going
This
out,
is so this is really convenient. now it's just,
Thank you.
I think it's a full-fledged, station building.
Yep.
But,
So we do have the room back there, obviously.
yep, looks like good sandy soil.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
It's all sand.
it's all sand, yes,
yeah,
and
That's
very
good.
deep, so,
like I said, there's options on that, but, if we got
Mm-hmm.
into it, it'd be really kind of working with everybody and I'm doing a full, like, wood framed building, and that might have some options too. I think I did an old one that might be in there, Buckfield, that was 7,500.
Yeah, it's in here.
Which when we did that one was $1 million, or.
Yeah, it was back in 2014.
No, it's like,
Jackson is stick frame. The Jackson Station stick frame.
Is it?
I mean, that's a better building, all in longevity wise and so on, but, so, like I said, if we did it the right shape, then we could price both of them.
The Conway one, I ran the Conway Fire Station project, and that was structural steel stud infill, and then wood not wood trusses, wood framing on top of steel beams for the roof structure.
Which, is that the one that looks,
Right in Conway Village,
kinda looks like the
Oh, not North
fire.
not North Conway,
Not
not
North Conway,
Conway.
yeah, looks like.
That's when I was working with our alarm, so that had to be 2000 or something like that, maybe we did that one.
yeah, they spent like 130,000. Was it 130,000 for the doors?
Oh, it was
Conway. North Conway?
Yeah.
North Conway's, yeah.
I think, yeah, they
We
got,
interviewed
like,
for
heated
that,
glasses.
we were second.
Ridiculous.
I was like,
I don't,
it looks like it should be, it's pretty, looks like it should be in Disney World Fire Station, it's, got
Wow.
that kinda like, castle look. So, it was expensive, I'm sure, even then,
Right.
so. Well, I don't know if there's any other
Any other questions?
questions for you guys, or.
Good, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
feel
yes, thank
free
you so
to
much
give
for
me a
coming.
ring. Like I said, if
Absolutely.
you're interested in a proposal, we
Okay,
can
we'll let you know,
write
sure.
something but good, and best of luck.
Thank you very much, appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Very nice meeting you,
Okay.
thanks very much,
Okay.
take care, safe
Take
travels.
care, yeah, be
Okay.
careful going back home.
Yeah, this is my GPS took me like just through the beautiful windy road. Is that the normal way here, or?
Well, that all depends on where you,
It took me through Biddeford and then up and through
so where are you heading back to?
Portland.
You can't get there from here.
That's because there's a local traffic police road out here.
Exactly.
So Portland, obviously 25 takes you right to Portland, so that's right here.
Yeah, that's what cause I've been up in Corsh and all these
Yeah.
Byram and stuff all the
Yeah,
time.
you're 11 miles to
I
Portland.
don't know how I got here today.
302 and whatever it took you to, oh no, Biddeford, yeah, yeah.
So 109, you probably came up?
I,
Or like Wakefield?
160 and Route 5 and,
Yeah, there was a 17 in there.
yeah, 117. 117 takes right to Biddeford.
Anyway, there's a lot of turns.
Yeah.
But it was like.
Yeah, 25 is right there, and that's a straight shot, but,
Alright, okay.
yeah.
Alright,
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you very much.
You know.
See ya.
My grandfather used to live right next door, he grew up, and people would stop and they'd say, how do you get to Portland from here? And he'd say, usually my brother takes me.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Yes, I love that. That's what should be said.
Well, any thoughts? Any comments? Lawrence, I see you're biting your lip. That's right,
Wants to
he's
say
biting his
something.
lip. I know you wanna say something.
Seems like we're just gaining and gaining and gaining in price.
We would just, Mike brought the original plans that Lee had done when it was
2 town meetings ago,
the original,
the one we voted down.
right. So since we bought and paid for those plans,
You can sit, have a look at them.
Yeah.
and see if,
Set them right in the big table. All the big tables.
come on up here.
So this is 40 by 100. Cross wall slab, simple detail. And there's the room layout.
So why didn't we go with this? Why did we vote it down?
Well, thankfully, we voted it down because we
Yeah.
don't own the land.
That was down the old station
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yep,
In hindsight, but we also weren't necessarily ready.
Right,
yeah, there's a story that goes with
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
don't you think that a really important thing would be to reach out to our Congress people and find out?
No,
what that
because
is?
we need numbers,
We need a drawing.
you need a drawing and you
Get a
need a
number.
plan.
Yep, and then.
Okay.
then
They
we
won't
that.
do it, they won't do
They
it
won't do
on
unless you have a,
conceptual.
but not conceptual, but don't you think we should say like, is there anything available to us?
Well, we know it's available.
We do.
Yeah, we
for
already
sure.
know, for sure it's
Okay.
available to us, but just like, so the county just put a, and sorry to change
No,
paths, we'll
please,
get
No,
back to
cause
this
I'm
in a second.
curious.
Please do.
So the county just put on the big laundry addition.
Okay.
Whatever, and Baba, they had to get a huge waiver, and that was a big thing, because believe it or not, big commercial washing
You
machines
can't-
aren't made in the
they're not
United
made in the
States.
United States.
So they had to
They're
get a waiver for
They're
that,
not.
whatever,
No.
but they get congressional money, but they actually had to commit the money through their budgetary process first, and
Okay,
then basically get
and then they got
refunded.
paid back.
Correct.
Okay,
So
okay.
full freight got,
How much of it did they get paid back? How much got, like percentage wise, did they get?
They get $2 million from
And how much
congressional
was the
money.
whole project?
5.7, I think,
So
something like that, I
little
don't
less-
know.
little
If
less
my
than
wife
half.
is listening, she could,
Little less than half.
but they had to propose it as straight 5.7, no help coming from anywhere, that got.
Yeah, it
was-
And then you get
right.
re.
well, they, I shouldn't say that,
Or you
so
pitch
they,
it that it's
well, they had ARPA money too.
Oh, okay.
So American Rescue
Recovery.
And
Recovery.
how much of that did they get? Was that included in the 2 million?
No, that was included in the total project cost, whatever, so. Cause like the county got, some stupid amount of money, from ARPA money. Millions and millions and millions of dollars, they actually solicited for nonprofits countywide to,
To submit.
apply
Yeah,
for
for the
money from them, that's ARPA money. And our, my non-public Effingham Connect, got $30,000, right?
Yeah, 39 on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and that's what we use to put the electrical in and get the building painted
awesome.
and some other things, whatever, so. At the Davis Meeting House, so,
So this is a nice plan for this, with JT though. That was a good plan. They liked that plan, and that
So that-
included the
that's-
police too.
right, that was police and fire.
Right,
Wasn't part of it too that
was
there
the
wasn't
upper- just a-
anything for the,
yeah.
land use
apparatus
boards,
band.
that was
land-
main.
and so they would,
This
they would go in
was just office
here.
space and a sally port for the police
And
department.
that was
The
by
land use
Station
boards
Two.
would go from there
Yep.
into here.
That's Station Two right
In this
there.
plan, that
Well, that
didn't
would have
exist.
been,
Right.
would have been next.
No,
to
no,
it.
no, I know
part of it.
that,
That would've
but
been added
that's
to it.
because that
That would've
was
been a separate
down
building.
there.
Standalone
Right.
building.
But then if you did
So if
that
you did
out
that and then
there,
added
then the
bays.
land use would come in here like you were gonna plan to anyway.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
We would just have to modify the
The
interior
interior,
to accommodate for apparatus space and a meeting
It's a
space.
very, this is just a simple
Cause the
set of
apparatus
basic
space.
drawings.
right,
Elevations.
And how big is
as well.
that?
60 by
this is how-
100,
Well, 40, this is
So the
40 by
apparatus
100.
space,
40 by 100.
40 by 100,
This was 40 by 100.
that was the original, was 40 by 100,
and what were we proposing here for, 60
60
by
by
140.
140, right?
right,
So my thinking is if we
Your
could make
apparatus,
part of this work, again, for police and fire. And then, and it's gonna have to shrink down because it doesn't incorporate meeting space for the select board. So that would have to be tossed in here as well.
What's this?
What's that one?
What's this room?
Yeah,
That was, is a conference room,
So
meeting room.
that
Can
could
that
be a
work
select
for
board,
select
board?
Well,
be good.
that would be your apparatus space.
Well, I think we
Well-
still have to, the apparatus,
would have to be,
we wouldn't get it all in that building.
You'd have to
it
add
would
to
have
it.
to be,
Well, that's-
You'd have to stuff things into that building.
right,
And
And maybe even shorten it a little bit and then put
Put
it
in
out for the
apparatus
apparatus
thing, yeah.
building.
well, if that's 100, we were gonna do 40 more feet, right?
Right,
right,
which would only get you 2 bays, basically.
Which, what do you want, 2 bays or 3?
But this
Well,
had
we
a
would need
sally
three
port in
of
it.
us.
Yeah,
Didn't this have a sally port
that's
in
it
it?
right there, right in
double
front of you,
stack.
Chris.
It
That's the Sally port.
What I should do is,
yeah, put the glasses
Needs
on.
glasses?
if you
I
held it
know.
over there, I could see it.
Yeah.
But it's right there, so I can't. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
So that's taken care of, so yeah, so you're talking the 40 feet for the apparatus base.
But I think that this is
17's, yeah, you
bigger
could do 2.
room-wise than the new configuration that JT and Tyler worked on.
Right,
Seems it.
Yeah,
Right.
everything is just.
We just have to
more-
add
Yeah,
that 40 feet
so
for
it has to
the base.
be,
And
That's a
gobble up,
possibility.
and cough up 20 feet of this one to get that third bay. You'd have to
What do you want,
compress what
3 or
you
2?
have,
What,
You have to compress it.
don't we have 3 bays now?
We were down to 2 doubles.
I thought we were down to 2 doubles.
2 double.
Okay.
And the sally port, that
Yeah.
may,
Oh, I
maybe
Right,
that's,
two
maybe that's
doubles
what I'm
in the
thinking of.
side, yeah.
Okay,
Double
never mind.
stack. But if you position it right on the lot, could you have them come in back 2 and then just head out each way?
Yeah, like doors on each side of it.
Doors on each end, and that way you're not parking a truck in front of a truck. And then if you need a truck, you just go right out that door.
but then it would have to be wider than this, which is.
Yeah, cause this is only
that's
about
not-
40 feet,
40,
right? So
yeah,
this is
that's
not
40.
barely enough for one truck.
40 feet, you're gonna be very tight getting that tank truck in there. At 40 feet, that 10-wheel, that's gonna be very tight.
Yeah, see,
You won't have anything on the back wall, cause you're gonna be
I
up to it.
see taking and shortening some of this up and putting an L this way. And then you can do your drive-through on the gable ends. The only thing I would do is take the Sally port and turn it this way. I know it's under an even, but how often do you use it? It's not
Right.
like, it's not like it's a real big
Right.
deal.
exactly,
Wouldn't be a big deal.
true.
And
So we
may
just
not-
Why
have
would
to
we turn
realize-
that building back to the
It
60
may not be
feet you were
utilized
thinking
at
of?
all.
Could become the meeting space. You don't know.
Cause these are the drawings we have, I think that was the intent to repurpose
Well-
what we had.
You got thinking about it, and I talked to Lee the other day about this. I said, what do you think about it? He said, I think, if you get the other floor plan, see if we can condense it and utilize something of what we have. This is a wood frame structure. It's pretty straightforward.
Priced,
And
I
the
mean,
fact that it's only 40 feet wide is a lot cheaper to build, and then the
Make the.
fire apparatus
Make that bigger.
would be 34 feet wide and 80 feet long. But it's only 34 feet wide, so it's a lot cheaper to build.
And we could marry that to a steel building,
That's true,
because we don't need a ceiling in that.
right,
We just put a steel building, like, what's his, the fabricator up there on 16, across from where Kirk Brooks is.
Gosh Ange,
Whatever, it's an odd.
Gosh
name.
Ange. That's his wife, so.
Yeah,
Gosh
okay.
Ange.
So. This is the part that we get concerned about heating and cooling. We gotta heat the apparatus bay, but that'll be done with radiant and we're not cooling it.
Right.
Put some ceiling fans in
Right.
and
Put one
drains.
of those big ass fans in it and
Yeah.
you don't need air conditioning.
right,
So
right,
this is an efficient, all the slab is insulated, even though it's not gonna be radiant heat. You
Right.
still insulate your slab, keep it at room temperature, not ground temperature. You don't get condensation, everything thermal envelope up the sides, across the bottom core. You could use attic trusses on either end, that's what Todd and I had talked about, heating system here. I had another proposal that we could do heat pumps, but there was a big spread in
right,
prices. But if we could condense that down enough to get some select board meeting space in this. We could utilize this set of drawings, this big rectangle.
I think it's.
Well, I mean-
Concrete's on the road, let's get going.
Theoretically, why couldn't we just use the conference room? We meet every other week. We wouldn't,
scheduled so
if
you
we
can stay
needed,
longer.
if we needed to, cause I just need to know what the square footage of that is.
I think it's written right on there. I'd have to have your glasses. Are they readers?
There,
See what
The
happens
only
when
winkle this. would
526 square feet.
so what is this space? 30 by 30?
600.
yeah,
This isn't big enough, so that would have to be bigger for,
Well, like I
For-
say, these rooms can be configured down a little bit and messed around with.
the interior,
I'm assuming that's the same size. Oh, no, we could have used the apparatus bay.
Well,
or
that's
if we had to have town
If you have the
meeting.
town meeting or it's voting,
Right.
you'd use the apparatus
Correct.
space. That's what our
Now,
whole
the other,
plan was.
the other
That's true.
meetings that would be there.
So just the selectmen's meetings could, cause we meet every other week, we
Right.
could still be in this space right here.
And that could be
Without changing
enlarged.
that,
Yeah, but it could be
The
enlarged.
ZBA, though, all of the other meetings would have to be there as well,
yeah,
wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Everyone's meetings, right?
but I mean, the idea was to use this for trainings and things of that nature for
Right.
both PD and fire and,
Right,
Multi-purpose room.
yeah.
You zoning board in there, everything.
yeah, everything,
Well, the zoning, yeah,
Zoning.
the meetings,
yeah, all
yeah, the land
meetings.
use boards would then come into this
Right, they
space
do
here
that
that
here.
are back there.
Could be held back in there.
What do you think?
I think we should work with this and see how we can.
We could make it work.
Yeah, we could make it work, and I think it'd be a
would
lot,
still like, when Lee gets back, I wanna get you a plan. That, and sit down, have him come and you and I and him sit down. And see where we could squeeze, and yourselves, he can come to a meeting and see what we could squeeze. And he could offer some suggestions. Because there's no bearing walls in there whatsoever, it's bottom
Right.
cord, it's a one set truss. You know, it's a 42-foot truss, tail to tail.
I mean, even if we did take, this this was a fire police building.
that's what it was,
what it
And
was.
so we were proposing a fire police building with space for us to meet. So we don't even, I don't think we have to condense, right? I mean, if we can make this work and add
As long as the apparatus, yeah.
Well, yeah.
an
The
apparatus.
apparatus bay could be separate, and I think it would do us well to do that with a structural steel.
What do you mean, separate?
right, a steel
Completely
building,
separate?
right,
Well, you butt into it, but it would run, we would overframe this into the steel
But
building.
connected.
It would be connected,
You don't want to.
but I would turn that apparatus, now we're back to the L thing again, which, you
Right.
know. But, you know, steel building's entirely different type of foundation, as you know, we got pilasters in that. And that's not too hard to get a number on. And if we gave Lisa a size, call Bill Belanger at Seacoast and do the same, get a size, and keep going looking at that building that the fabricator has. It's a nice size, it just needs to be bigger. But it's pretty clean. And wide open inside. And you don't have to finish anything off, because it'd be all that vinyl insulation, which is all white. And you can build out over time, plywood the sides or whatever you wanna do, and put shelf space in.
I think that's a good idea. What does
We got
anyone else
lemons,
think?
if we could squeeze out, get some lemonade.
We just
Yes, we
have to,
can.
on that building, we have to put a drain in the floor that goes to a tank that can be pumped off or something like that.
And the apparatus.
Daylighted, and the
Apparatus.
apparatus space, so that
Yeah.
we can wash apparatus inside in the winter time.
It's got an oil separator in it, that's
Mm-hmm.
just the.
It's just very expensive to get rid of that water.
Yep.
It's more than commercial septic.
So, I mean,
That's what we ran into. We had a
Yes, we're on.
in Plasto, we had the separator and all that, going right into the brook. And when they put the PV up, they ripped it all out and they weren't supposed to. So they put.
We had the same setup in a department I used to work for, and yes,
It works.
it's doable.
It's doable. Alright, well, let's sleep on it.
that's making an assumption that I'm gonna sleep tonight, and I can tell you that's not gonna happen.
No, he's not sleeping tonight for sure. I should call up Melissa, well, I'm sure she's
All right.
watching.
She knows, she
Tell her,
knows.
Alright, yeah, you're toss and turn. Yep.
Yeah,
so I think we should all think about it and be prepared to surprise Leo.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have to think about anything. I think this.
I think this is I really do, I think this is a very good solution, that's just my opinion.
Well, we paid for this already.
Yes, we did. We already paid for it,
Nowhere
so,
near what we would be paying, you know, for whether it's Sean Burr, we still need to get through a code review. And possible sprinkler system for the apparatus bay.
Well, and he brought up a good point when we were outside, unfortunately I wasn't on the video, but New Hampshire is moving to 2024 fire codes next week.
next
This week,
Next week.
next week, we're a
So
little behind.
I haven't reviewed the new, I have no idea what's changing in the new codes, but that could change our scapegoat, for lack of a better way to put it, of, you know, having the direct egress doors, that may not work anymore.
Right,
Maine is already on 2024, and he's saying in Maine they can't do it,
Wow,
so.
well,
We still have the potential to do waivers, you know, there's still options, but the options are getting smaller, assuming he's correct in the code, so.
okay. Wonderful. Just another monkey wrench. All right, so I said we think about this, we'll, Phil,
I'll talk to Lee when
Lee.
he gets back.
yeah, talk to
And
Lee,
kinda- But he told me, like, he's a month out.
okay,
He could do it, and he's booked till September, but
right,
he could get on this in a month if
Okay.
need be.
okay,
But if we're going for focus now on a apparatus type bay, we can get, Lisa can get numbers, I can get numbers. So
right,
we'd have an idea with the foundation, building.
right, right,
Approximate cost for
Suggested
electrical and overhead doors and the basics.
right,
But you get a slab, concrete,
right,
and the walls insulated, and doors and windows
right,
in those quotes. And the steel building companies will supply you with, for a little extra money, you get the engineered foundation plan,
right,
which shows all the rebar for the pilasters and the bolt locations.
yeah. Okay, anyone else have anything to add? Lawrence, what do you think? You think this is a good idea, bad idea?
I think it's a good idea,
Okay.
hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah, a heck of a lot cheaper is right. All right, so will you please keep those safe?
I've been hanging on to them.
All
I
right,
didn't throw them in the wood stove.
okay. Hang on to them then,
Yep,
and,
they're already on his CAD file,
okay,
ArchiCAD, so.
yes, okay. Okay, now going back to, we skipped the, minutes,
I make a motion to approve the minutes as, shown, I didn't see any corrections, I think the attendance and not attendance was correct.
Yeah.
My name was spelled wrong.
your name was
Last
spelled
name's
wrong?
Carl, spelled
That's
wrong.
a Scribner's error, so that's not,
Okay,
That's
Who's
that's the only thing I saw.
as.
okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Alright,
Okay. Where are you? Oh, yeah, there's a C instead of a, I can, yep, that'll do it. So either your name is eliminated or it's spelled wrong. We're
you just
changing
refer
your
to me
name.
as Chris K. You
Chris
can
K,
see.
from now on, that's right.
How do you think I feel?
Yeah, really. So if there's nothing else to be discussed, if there's any other business, does anyone have any other business that they need to discuss? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Okay,
Second,
Chris K, Chris C,
S.
S. I'll put the wrong one in. Any discussion? Everyone, in favor? Okay,
Great.
meeting adjourned 7:30, I'm gonna go by that, 7:30,
7:31, but
7:31,
there's no worries.
yeah, 7:30 is
We
fine.
did the steel building, like you did the rough quote one time, right? Wasn't it like, I know it didn't include the groundwork or anything.